My name is Anand Sundaram, and I'm excited to be here talking about your Azure migration experience. We're going to talk about the core scenarios and get a little deeper and give you a deeper view into what our guidance there is. And we'll also cover best practices as well. I'm going to be joined by Dan Patrick, who is one of our MVPs, who works with us closely on this. He's got a lot of street creds with you guys, working with customers and partners all the time. So he'll be joining me as well. Let me ask a quick question as we dive in. How many of us were at the 9 a.m. session in the morning today on migration? Okay, I see a few hands, but not a lot more, which is cool. So this, what I'm showing here, should be pretty familiar to all of you guys who attended the 9 a.m. session, but let me quickly recap it. What you see on the top, those 4 icons, are basically the 4 stages in the journey of Azure migration. So what you do there is you start with assessing and discovering what's in your on-premises environment. Then the next step is migrating. That is taking what you discovered, figuring out what's suitable to migrate to Azure, and then actually transporting it or migrating it. Once it's in Azure, you want to constantly keep your workloads that you migrated optimized and well-managed and secure, right? So migration to Azure is not a once-and-done thing. It's an ongoing, continuous thing. So that's why you see those 2-sided arrows around optimize and secure and manage. So that's basically the stages of the Azure migration journey that we've been talking through this week. What you see inside that white box, the black strip of words, is basically the set of things that we are doing to help you folks be successful in that journey. Starting with migration tools, which we will actually talk about a little bit more when we deep dive. But these are all the tools to migrate your apps, your data, your infrastructure, your databases, right? Great investments that we have in tools. The next piece is just prescriptive guidance, for which we've got 2 investments. One is the Azure Migration Center. Azure.com/migration is the single place for all things migration. And then we also have some deep scenario guidance that Dan will drill down to, right? So think of those 2 as being just prescriptive guidance to help you go through that journey. And then the last section of text that you see there is direct handholding. So we've got programs like the Fast Track for Azure, which actually has a booth downstairs. You should go to the expo area and ask them questions and even get a one-on-one session. Go deep with the fast track engineers that we have from Azure on site here. And then Azure Expert MSPs, who are part of our managed services ecosystem, who are really skilled. They work closely with us. We train them all the time. They're there to help you as well. So those are kind of the investments, right? Tools, prescriptive guidance, and then hand-holding. What you see at the bottom there is a sort of best practices that we'll click down on in this session as well. They are centered around people, process planning, and tech. Pretty familiar framework, but we will click down and talk about what we are gleaning from all the Azure migrations that our customers are doing. So what we are focusing on particularly in this session is those 2 things, just going deeper into the scenarios and walking you through a set of extensive materials that literally go step by step and help you actually walk through the scenarios and do it. Once we get back home, and then also talk about those best practices and give you a lot more color. Okay, so with that, I'm going to just dive in straight to the customer scenario walkthrough section of this talk, which is the first part before we get into best practices. A quick overview of our migration tools, the first investment that I spoke about, because we will be touching on these in our scenario walkthroughs and step-by-step materials as well. What you see here is a set of built-in Azure tools, right? If you go to azure.portal.com, all of the tools that you see on the top row are kind of built in. And what you see in the bottom is a set of ISV-provided tools with whom we work very closely to make sure that we stitch together their solutions and ours in the context of the overall scenario. So what we have under assessment is a tool called Azure Migrate, which helps you actually discover and assess all the things that are running in your on-prem environments. We also have some tools to discover and assess databases as well. Then in Migrate, we've got tools like Azure Site Recovery to migrate servers and virtual machines. We've got tools like Azure Database Migration Service to migrate databases. And then for data, not databases, for data like blobs or SharePoint or those type of things that are raw storage, we've got a solution called the Azure Data Box, which can actually help you move terabytes and petabytes of that type of data to Azure all at once, right? So that's the Migrate, so set of tools under Migrate. Under Optimize, we've got tools like Azure Cost Management, which are built into the Azure portal that can help you look at your cloud spends, track how much you've been spending, help you do what-if projections and analysis on, and help you forecast and optimize your cloud spends and help fine-tune them. That's Azure Cost Management. And then under Security and Management, for all the workloads that are migrated to Azure, you can actually turn on monitoring. You can turn on backup. You can turn on disaster recovery. You can turn on governance around those resources using some great built-in tools as well. And then we've got some great partners like MoveAir, Cloudamize, Cloud Endure, Zoto, and all of that as well. Can I ask a quick show of hands on how many people are using these tools, Azure tools or partner tools today? Okay, I can see 10%-ish of the room are using these tools. So our guidance here is just choose the tool that meets your needs. Right? No need to choose Azure tools over third-party tools. Just pick the tool that does the job, be it migrating a piece of infrastructure or data or app. Yeah, and now I'm going to just overview the scenarios before I turn it over to Dan to go deeper. These are the scenarios that we're going to literally walk through. When we talk to customers say, all right, I'm on this journey, and I want to actually take some of my on-premises workloads, and I'm going to do one of a few things. I'm either going to move them as is, and that's what is called rehost. Some customers say, I'm going to actually do some tweaking. I'm going to probably containerize it because I'm looking to solve for some other requirements like agility with this workload in the future. So I'm going to refactor it. That's the term that we use for containerization, for example. And there are yet other customers who say, all right, I'm going to make a significant investment in this app as I'm migrating it because it is critical to my business's future success. In that case, I'm going to use probably PaaS or microservices and kind of do major redesign of the app along with the move. So that's why you see the terms migration and modernization go together, that they represent the lift and shift or move as is, as well as various forms of modernization as well. And there are a lot of capabilities or technologies that are relevant along this journey. So for this session, we're going to click down explicitly and give you some step-by-step guidance on rehost, refactor, and re-architect. So I'm going to turn over to Dan, who's going to take us through the step-by-step guidance that we have.
Awesome. Thanks, Anant. Hey, everybody. You having a good night so far? Yeah? Cool. Day 2? Right? Yeah, I'm hearing one clap. That's good. And a phone call. Who's that? All right. Set your phasers to stun, right? So thanks, Anant. What we're going to do is we're really going to focus on real-world things, right? So I don't work for Microsoft. I work for a company called Soliance. I'm our chief infrastructure architect, as well as the general manager of our DevOps practice, right? And I focus on infrastructure and migration. So, I have either myself or my teams have done over probably 25,000 apps and things like that we've migrated to Azure. And so we've really, really invested and partnered with Microsoft to build this guidance for you, right? Because we want to get you to go, right? We want to help people get past analysis paralysis, all that kind of jazz, right? And get to go. So that's what we're going to focus on. And one of the main investments that has been made over the last probably Anant, 3 or 4 months, 4 or 5-ish months, and we're going to continue this for a long period of time, is this scenario guidance, right? And so these are available right now. We've got tons of documents out there. If you can see the AKS link on the bottom, Contoso-migration. So this is right now, it's 13 documents. Well, it says 14 because there's another one coming. And these are scenario guides that focus, of course, on Contoso, right, our favorite company. Their move to Azure, right? And the first thing that we do in the beginning is we look at what I've been calling Azure setup.exe, right? So for customers, companies that don't have Azure at all, right? Where do you start? Because that's one of the biggest things, right? So starting with subscriptions, networking, Azure AD, setting standards like the names of resource groups, things like that, right? Like how do you just get started? And it's not perfect, right? When you go and read it, and the idea of the exercise is that you'll have context, right? You'll read about what somebody did, and that will help you decide, well, I wouldn't do it like that, or no, that's a good idea. Maybe I'll adopt that, right? And so that's what these are all about. And then the other documents that we have are sort of proof of concepts walkthroughs. And what we've done for you is we've chosen 2 applications. So there's a Windows SQL on the R2, 2008 R2 platform, right? And there's a bunch of different pivots on ways to take that to Azure, right? So there's lift and shift where you just have 2 VMs and we just drop that into the cloud. But we have tons of other ones, right? And they're all based around this last bullet here, business drivers and migration goals, right? So each document has kind of different drivers or different goals that they have. And you basically will understand the app. And then in each document, you'll see how they did it a different way. So for example, one of them might be, well, we want to go to PaaS. So we'll show you how to take that app that runs today on a VM and we'll move it to PaaS, right? Or we'll show you how to use ASR, this sort of thing. So the idea is that you only have to learn the app once, and then you can see all the different ways that you can move that to Azure. And that will help you to understand all your options, right? The rehosting, the refactor, all of this sort of thing, right? So it's a pretty cool thing. And you see on the bottom there the 2 kind of architecture, sort of a functional architecture layouts as well as the process. And I'm going to do a demo in a few minutes of these to show you what they're like. And actually, I want to double click down and talk about one of them just to sort of give you a flavor of what this is like. And oh, by the way, there's a Linux app as well. So there's a LAMP app as well as the Windows app. So here, for example, we've got basically they want to rehost to Azure and use the new database managed instance, right? So in this case, basically they have some goals that we list out. They want the same performance that they get today in VMware. They don't want to invest in the app necessarily. They just want to move it to the cloud, have the app tier up and running, right? And kind of go from there. But they definitely want to get it out of the business of managing their SQL VMs, right? So that's kind of the scenario. And the next piece is, okay, well, what's the solution, right? Like, what's the process to get there? So you can see sort of, on the left, the preparation. What do they need to do? Well, they need to configure Azure Site Recovery. They need to get vCenter collecting data, that sort of thing. On their SQL, they need to go ahead and provision their SQL managed instance. They need to provision the data migration service, get that up and running, and then we can move to the migration phase. In the migration phase, we'll replicate that VM over to Azure, right? We'll perform that migration, okay, where we do that one-time failover, click the migrate button, it unprotects it. The web tier is in Azure, and we'll use the data migration service to put that data up in SQL MI. And what's really cool about these docs is it's a little bit of business, it's a little bit of process, but there's also kind of high-level walkthroughs. It's not a hands-on lab, okay? I mean, it's not going to tell you A to N, right? But there are quite a few steps to sort of get you through to kind of get an idea. Is this bigger than a bread box? You know what I mean? But with tons of different pivots. So let's see what the next piece of that looks like. So also we have these, kind of the steps, if you will, and kind of a setup here. You can see on the left we've got our vCenter. We had the 2 VMs. Before it was Web VM and SQL VM. Now we've got a site-to-site VPN set up. We've got our Web VM that's been transferred over into Azure. It's been migrated. We've got the the data migration service that's set up, and as well as the SQL managed instance. And you can sort of see how this looks, right? Like for example, those of you, anybody used managed instance yet? You got a chance to play with it at all? 1 or 2. Well, one of the things you have to do is you have to create a VNet and do a peering, right? In order for that to work. So we show you how to do that, right? So it's a really interesting way to sort of understand all your different options and all the different things that you can do, right? As well as here we're showing a jump box and that sort of thing so you can get into there. So that's the rehost scenario. For this same scenario, we have just VMs to Azure. We have the SQL, the front end with the SQL MI. We have a version of it where the customer said that they wanted to have fault tolerance built for their data on the back end on VMs. So we show you how to build an always-on availability cluster, right? So we're showing you a bunch of different ways to do the same thing with the context of knowing and understanding the app, right? So pretty cool stuff. I hope you guys will really like that. Now, refactoring. That was, we were talking about rehosting. Let's talk about refactor a little bit, and I'm going to sort of walk you through that same app, but with a refactoring. So of course here, potential things you could use, AKS, Service Fabric, Azure App Service, potential options for refactoring over to Azure. And so here we have Refactor. This is the same exact app that I just showed you with IaaS VMs on the front end and SQL MI on the back end. So here, what we're trying to do is go all PaaS, but with DevOps, with a CI/CD pipeline. So we've got the web app and the service deployed. And the way this app works is it's a traditional kind of entity framework app that you're probably familiar with, the old school 3 tiers, right? We've got a web front end, we've got a web service, right? A WCF service in the middle, and then we had SQL on a VM in the back. Well, now we're showing you how to get that over into PaaS. You don't have to manage those VMs. We get rid of that technical debt of not updating to 2008 R2, that sort of thing. And so what we end up with is basically a web app that's taking advantage of all the capabilities of PaaS. We've got our web front end, we've got our WCS service, and we've migrated to SQL database on the back end, so completely in PaaS. But we also fix the problem of our developers deploying on their own, right? Deploying from Visual Studio or FTPing files or whatever it is that they do today, right? So in this scenario, we show you how to use Azure DevOps to build that pipeline, right? And I was telling Nat that when we wrote this article, we actually looked, and I couldn't find an article anywhere in the Azure docs that shows you how to do this thing. And it's a pretty simple thing, right? You have a VM that has multiple services. So we show you how to do it here. And I hope that you guys will take a look at this because it'll help you to get this moving. And I think that one of the best practices that we've really been talking about, obviously, and everyone's DevOps this, DevOps that, what is it? When you're moving to something like PaaS, implementing a DevOps pipeline is a really good idea to do at the same time, right? Because we're taking away all the risk factors that we had before, sort of marching into the future. And when you make that migration over, we can also do the cutover to more of a pipeline-based type of deployment model. Get that code off of somebody's laptop when they're on vacation in Mexico or something, right? I heard a right over there somewhere. Right. So next one up, we've got, this is a refactor of an app over to containers technology, right? And a lot of people talking about Kubernetes. Anybody dived into containers and Kubernetes yet, or one or two? And a lot of the CIOs want to talk about it, right? So it's a big topic. And of course, Azure has amazing functionality for this. And same sort of thing here. The Microsoft ecosystem with Azure covers all this and is very open to OSS technologies. And we've done quite a few of this sort of workflow on migrations that we've done. But here we see a basic workflow, right, where we take an application, we're converting it over to containers. We've got the basically managed Kubernetes with AKS, Azure Container Registry or ACR. That gives us our enterprise trusted registry for managing those. We're using Jenkins for the CI/CD pipeline here. So basically, developer checks in the code. They update something in Visual Studio Code. They check it into GitHub. Jenkins is watching that, right? It does a build of the containers, ships those off to our container registry where they're held, right? So sort of held and managed and versioned there. And then, of course, the actual deployment will pull that, right? Do like a Docker pull for the AKS from our container registry. And then we've got, of course, like Cosmos or other things in the mix here. In this example, it's Cosmos DB using the Mongo API, right? So this is an application that can be deployed at scale using these technologies when we do kind of a refactoring of that application if we wanted to embrace containers. Now, same app as we had earlier, the Windows app. Remember, we did the VM with the SQL MI. We did a version of it a second ago where we did Azure PaaS, right? This, we're actually taking it to containers and using Service Fabric, okay? But this is a re-architect. And the reason why we call it a re-architect is because obviously the architecture has fundamentally changed, but we also are adding some functionality to it, right? So if you're sort of rescuing a stranded app in 2008 R2, but you want to add something to it. So for example, in this case, this is it's called Smart Hotel 360. It's out on GitHub. You can download the app. That's what all of these are based on, right? So you can sort of follow along and do this on your own. This app here, what we did is actually convert it to a container, right? And we're going to deploy it to Service Fabric. You see how we've got the data down in SQL PaaS now, and we're using a DevOps pipeline to actually write that or do that deployment to the Service Fabric cluster. Now, what enables this is we actually go in Visual Studio and use the Service Fabric SDK, and you literally can right-click on the same code that you had before, and you can convert it to a container. So you can, essentially, you can just refactor the app that simply with the SDK, right? And we show you step by step. Again, this is one of the documents, right, that's out there. So basically, we're converting the app to the container with the Service Fabric SDK. We're moving to a DevOps model. We've got the DevOps build, CD pipeline, and then of course we wrote another package, some more code, where we're doing sentiment analysis and leveraging Cosmos DB to store those tweets that we're pulling in. So if someone says, "Oh, your hotel is horrible," or something like that, we can send notifications to management or to guest relations, things like that, and that sort of thing. And of course, great support for the developer side, right, with the SDK I talked about, as well as the Docker for Windows, right? So if somebody has Windows 10, they can run Docker for Windows, do all those builds and test it and all that stuff, right? As well as you can run a Service Fabric cluster, on your laptop, right? And it's the same experience, the same code as when you deploy it to Azure, right? So pretty cool stuff. Now, let me pop out really fast, and we're going to take a quick look at the documents. See if I can do this with the. I want to just show you. Can you see it? Oh yeah, cool. Okay, where's the mouse? Hello, mouse. There it goes. All right, so this is, if you go out onto the docs website, right, this is the repository that has all the documents. And we've got, obviously, this overview page. And the overview page basically just introduces this to you, as well as talks about those different options, right? Or I tend to call them strategies for migrating. So like here we have rehosting, and it sort of defines what a rehost is. Like in general, we talk about it as a lift and shift. And then it also talks about when to use, right? One of the best practices that I would actually highly encourage is adopting a language that your team understands, right? Get everybody on the same page using the same words. If we say, oh, we should rehost that app, someone else should know what I mean, right? And when you're evaluating or doing those assessments, like using Azure Migrate, that's one of the things that you really want to be able to do, right? So we sort of introduce these. The other thing, folks, down at the bottom, and here's all of the articles are kind of listed out, is we show you the two apps, right? So like I mentioned, there's two apps. There's Smart Hotel 360, which you may have seen other of those apps like on Channel 9 or Scott Goo's overview, keynote, that sort of thing. We use that app. You can download that in GitHub, right? So that app is out here in GitHub, and it has basically anything that you want to try out is there. So you can download all different versions of that. This is the internal app is what we're looking at here. So this is like a back-end app. You can actually see, I think he has so like that's the architecture of that app we were talking about, right? Those 3 tiers. And then we also chose, there's an open source service desk software called OS Ticket that anybody can download. And that's the basis for all the Linux versions of this, right? Because like I said, we have Linux versions as well as, or LAMP versions, if you will, as well as, obviously the Windows one we were just talking about. Now, a couple documents I want to point you to. The first is this infrastructure document. So this is that Azure setup.exe doc I was talking about. And we went around and, from our experience at Soliance, and we interviewed tons of partners, customers, all kinds of things, saying, what were like the minimum things that you need to understand to just get started with Azure, right? To get you out of that analysis paralysis mode and get you going, so then you can start to do some of these migrations. And so in that, what we really focused on here, let me scroll down a little bit, was basically these 5 kind of steps. So, subscriptions, how do I do that? How do I do my hybrid identity, right? What should I do about disaster recovery, as well as network security and governance? And the things that I always focus on with customers when we first talk about Azure and where they're going to start, and it's kind of the 2 long poles in the tent, is identity and networking, right? Because without either one of those 2 things, you really can't go any further, okay? So those are kind of the base things. And what you will see is we go pretty deep in this document. Like, for example, let me find, where is the networking? Okay, so here's designing a network infrastructure. This is a complex, what I would call a complex enterprise-grade DMZ style networking infrastructure, right? So we sort of set it up with, how, different options for VPN and that sort of thing. But then we really dig in to kind of a multi-region, multi-hub spoke kind of network with a lot of peerings and that sort of thing. and it's very detailed. So, and one thing I hear a lot from people is they don't quite get like how should I do my IP ranges and things like that? How many IP addresses should I have in each subnet? That sort of thing. And when I go into organizations that have done it on their own, a lot of times, like I'll see IP ranges that are too big, right? So if you design a subnet that has a CIDR range that's over a /20, which is 4,096 available TCP addresses, right? From a binary perspective, you've wasted and lost all those IPs because VNets only support 4,096, right? So things like that, like little bitty things like that are really important to understand and hard to sort of glean out. So you get an idea here, like, we're showing them like how many IPs you'd have, that sort of thing. Really deep into architectures, like complex architectures with multi-firewalls, with UDRs, things like that. So it's pretty neat. Another one that for some reason people really love, let's see, the hybrid identity, is we give some guidance in here on naming resource groups. People love that, right? Because that's one thing you really should come up with. But then also matching resource groups here with security groups in AD. So when you do RBAC, you know what groups on-prem map to what groups in Azure, right? It's a simple little thing, but these are the kind of things that we're giving to you as best practices, right? So go and read these docs because you'll find all these things and you just start taking notes like, oh yeah, that's a good idea, yeah, or no, I hate that idea. And a lot of what I've heard from people is they say they hate the idea that we wrote, but it spawned them to have a great idea of what they wanted to do. Fine, right? Like our goal is just to get you to the cloud. So, so that's awesome. So let's take a look at the next one I want to point out, which is the assess. So this is an assessment, and what we do here is we take you through an assessment not only for your data, I'm sorry, not for just your VMs, but also the data. This is kind of a cool architecture diagram. I'm sure you can't see it there. But we go through all the prereqs, that sort of thing, and we're going to look at the SQL Data Migration Assistant. You're going to use Azure-Migrate. So you're really going to get a great flavor for this and how to run those tools, what it's like, what comes back, when I discover them, a little bit of step-by-step, a lot of process, that sort of thing. So it's a pretty good mix. It's not too overly heavy. We talk about the dependencies analysis, which is critical. Installing these tools so that, where's the service map? You end up with the service map. Here you go. So this is like the service map, right? Where we see the application and what it's talking to on the back end. Now, from a best practices perspective, this is great information, right? And there's another document that's coming out that we're calling Azure Migration at Scale. And in that document, we also give you ideas for what other metadata that you want to add to every single service, if you will. Remember, when you're migrating to Azure, you're migrating services. You can think of service as an application, okay? But if that application is talked to from the web, yeah, it has VMs, probably. Yeah, it has databases, okay? But what also does it have? Well, it has firewall rules, right? It has certificates, right? It has DNS records. So even though this is great stuff, okay, at the end of the day, everything that you need to think about needs to be accounted for. Okay, well, I've got my VMs up in Azure now. I've got my data up in Azure. Well, I forgot my DNS records. Oops, well, is that website going to work anymore? No. So there's a lot of great stuff to sort of think about, and we help you to kind of get going here. Now, a couple other quick ones. I wanted to show you that the rehost that I just showed you a second ago. Here we go. So here's the managed instance one that we just talked through on the slides. And one of the cool things here, we help you to get the data migration service set up, right? And get all that working and functioning. There's some interesting things about the peering that you need to know, like which boxes to tick when you get into the Azure portal, little ticks and trips like that. But then, also the cool stuff just in general about not only migrating and getting over there, but what do I need to do when I'm done, right? This is a great thing that Anant had come up with was, after you move it to Azure, well, what else do I need to do, right? Well, I need to back it up, right? I need to set up monitoring. It's not in production until I've done all that, right? Okay? You're only in production if you can recover from a disaster, right? Does everybody agree with that? You're only in production if you know if the thing is up or down because you're monitoring it, okay? And that's the difference between operationalizing something and just, oh, cool, it's in Azure now, right? And so that's where the rubber really meets the road. Your migration of your app, when you do your method of procedure or your MOP, anybody use the term MOP? When you do change controls and things like that, okay, maybe I come from like telecom background, right? But when you do a change control, right, like step 1, turn it off. Step 2, get it up to Azure. Check, check. Okay, well, step 3 is backup turned on? Is monitoring turned on? Right? Like all of those things go along with actually putting that service in Azure and making it real. Okay, cool. And there's some other ones that are here that are really neat, and all of these have DevOps kind of stuff built in. So like in the rebuild, we talk about setting up multiple pipelines, back-end pipelines, front-end pipelines, all that sort of stuff. So pretty cool stuff. So let's pop back over here, and next we're going to do the best practices section. So I'm going to have Anant come up and maybe plow through some of those.
Great.
Cool.
Thank you, Dan.
Yeah, absolutely.
Appreciate it. So this was the second section of the chapter of this talk, which was, what do we hear from customers commonly from you folks, and what are the types of questions, and then how do we translate the responses to these questions in terms of broad best practices that the whole community can benefit from, right? The typical ones that I hear the most is, man, when do I implement rehost or lift and shift versus when do I do all of these other things like containerization or rebuilding and all that? That's one common one. People often struggle with, man, we are doing the math between how much does it take us to run something on-prem versus in Azure. I'm trying to get to apples to apples, and it's difficult, right? That's another one that comes up commonly. Migration tools comes up often, which is, hey, this tool does that, but doesn't do this other thing. I'm just confused, right? All of these things come up. Even things like, hey, when I'm migrating, it turns out that I'm in a state of transition. I've got some stuff running on premises, some stuff in Azure. How do I straddle these two worlds and have a unified way to control everything that's going on, right? Things like subscription sprawl come up often, right? It's like the same thing as VM sprawl during the virtualization years. It's cloud subscription sprawl. How do I even control those things, right? Common things. Hopefully, you guys also run into some of these things. So our goal was to have these best practices that kind of help with some guidance on how to approach some of these common challenges. And we've grouped them into 3 basic areas, not trying to reinvent the framing here, which is people, process and planning, and tech, right? That everyone understands. On the people front, the most common ones are, there are some Uber ones, of course, like driving change and all of that stuff, which happens at the highest levels of exec management. But beyond that, some very practical things that we've learned is making sure that the right stakeholders are engaged, which is, it's not just you guys working with your application dev counterparts or line of business people, but also people like finance, because the finance controllers, it turns out, have a hard time understanding the translation of on-premises costs and what happens when you go from CapEx to OpEx, right? So you run in Azure, you get a bill, which is monthly based on each resource that you use for the amount of time you're using it. It takes time to help your finance people understand those concepts, right? So just making sure everyone is engaged is something we've learned. We've also learned that having a way for you guys to have or your leads to provide you with some guidance based on your roles, be it architect, be it operations, be it development, to have a way to certify yourself and successively progress to higher levels of cloud certification is something that is a best practice we've seen a lot of organizations adopt as they get ready for cloud adoption. On planning and process, the common thing that we see is, I spoke about the business case and making sure that everyone understands how to actually agree and support the business case and then track it through when you go to production, making sure that you're paying the business back on what you had promised them, right? Things like the optimization piece that Dan mentioned and tracking and projecting cloud spends and making sure that you don't go overboard. Then on the tech side, we started talking about concepts like tooling, of course, but also making sure that there is governance, there is the right security controls as you are, and you're able to map the controls, be it compliance, be it security that you apply on premises, and translating it to Azure and seeing how to best check all the boxes that your chief information security officer needs. And then the security and management, the management tooling. A lot of customers tell us often that, man, this is the toughest challenge that I have. I've got systems, I'm just making up an example. System Center Operations Manager is a popularly used Microsoft tool, right, where people have really fine-tuned monitoring for their SQL workloads or Linux workloads or even their physical boxes, right, HP and Dell and all that stuff, right? Management packs are very popular. How do I take all those custom configs after I move a resource to Azure? Do I have to reset and reestablish those configurations, or can I just use your built-in services and it'll have a way to suck in the configurations that I run on premises to support my management needs, right? Very common things that come up with customers. So that's what we've seen. So let me just quickly click down on some of these. This is the first one on the people side. So what we've seen, organizations like Chevron, like J.B. Hunt that we work closely with, they've done this. They've established what they call tiger teams, which are more centralized, and they focus on the more broader horizontal aspects of the migration program. Right? So what they have is they're fully empowered to evaluate the whole application portfolio and decide what should move as is, what should be modernized, right? That's one type of decision. The other decision is shared services like the governance piece or the security piece, how to make sure that all of those things are happening across the board as the migration initiative is going on. So that's the Center of Excellence organization on the left. On the right is migration teams. Now you can organize them by technology, be it a Windows or a Linux type migration teams, or they could be organized for each business unit, which might have a mix of applications, right? You might have a sales-focused migration team or a marketing-focused migration team and so on. Or you might say that, these are the experts in rehosting as a strategy. Let's build a team around that, or a center of excellence around that. And then let's have another team based on refactoring and rebuilding because they kind of go together, right? So we've seen customers actually do some of these things to make sure that they are set up the right way to succeed in their migration initiative. So very, very important for you to think about this. The next one is how to plan your migration strategies. Again, most typical question is, hey, what do I actually rehost to lift and shift versus what do I modernize? So a simple guidance is if you have a time-bound deadline or a compelling event in your company which makes you have to adopt the cloud within a certain time frame, go for rehost. And you can think about modernizing it once you're more practiced or more rehearsed in the cloud lifestyle in Azure, right? So what you see on the left is what should guide a rehost decision, which triggers like maybe a software is coming to end of support, right? Let's say Windows Server 2008, you've got a lot of them running on-prem, or SQL Server 2008. Just move them over, and then you can think about modernizing them because they're going to be end of support in 9 months' time, for example, right? That's an example. Another example that we've seen commonly is, man, I'm under pressure from my outsourcing contract to re-sign my agreement within the next 8 months, and I need to make a choice. And I really don't want to get into the negotiation with my on-premises provider because I am not just happy with them, right? What do I do? Great signal for rehosting. On the other hand, I've seen a lot of customers, like, again, going back to Chevron and J.B. Hunt, they had a pretty tops-down approach to migration where they said, look, I mean, we're going to take a pretty strategic bet on the cloud, and we want to move our whole portfolio of apps over a period of time. What do we do? So they actually ended up handpicking a bunch of apps. They handpicked a basket of apps across all of their departments and said, okay, we're going to digitally transform these apps and business processes, and let's get behind these groups of application teams that are doing this work, right? So they hand-selected a bunch of strategic apps, as they call it, for refactoring and re-architecting and rebuilding, right? The reality is that both of these strategies happen at once. Almost every customer that we speak to does both of these. So it's not like an all or nothing or one or the other. It's both. And so for a migration pilot, which we again recommend, I think Dan was going there as well, pick a basket of workloads which are representative across all the strategies, right? So that way you've practiced, you've rehearsed, you've gone through those migration phases across the board for different types of workloads. So you know what are the risks, what are the gotchas, and what are the learnings that you can apply then to the rest of your portfolio, right? So go through Dan's 14 documents because they cover the spread of all of these strategies, right? Once you've picked those workloads. That's what the guidance and recommendation we have there is. Hopefully this makes sense. This is another common thing. Our tooling or anyone else's tooling is not at the point that it's mature enough to automate the process of tracking migration. So a lot of customers actually have invested in these project management offices, which are part of the COE, or the Center of Excellence, where they have scorecards to report progress against the business case that was actually presented previously when they set forth. So just having a way to track your scorecard, be it by where are these workloads in the journey? Are they discovered? Have they been assessed? Have they been migrated? Have they been optimized? That's one sort of pivots to track your progress. The other pivot is to say, all right, how many applications have we rehosted? Are we done? How many applications have we planned to rebuild, and where are we along that journey, right? So finding the right KPIs and metrics for you to track by department. You want to involve all of your application and line of business departments to participate in this effort with you is another successful best practice we've seen. With that, I'm going to invite Dan back over because he's got some more guidance based on his engagements with customers as well along each phase of the journey.
Cool. Thanks, Anant. So this is okay. I figured if you're coming to a best practices thing, I wanted to give you a brain dump slide that you could take offline, right? So, but I do want to run through these pretty quick because these are things that I've actually seen, heard, felt, done, live, right, with my customers, okay? So let's talk about these from each phase, right? So in assess, first, obviously, build an inventory of your apps, your databases, your VMs, all of that sort of thing, right? And the second one there is then build what we call a service catalog, right? If you're in a company that's really big into ITIL, you have service managers, that sort of thing, you probably have this. But you can also take that opportunity to update your catalog, right? One thing there, it says beware of departmental apps, databases, and reports. This is a big thing, right? I see this all the time. You go into a bank or something like that, and bankruptcy has this one little report that someone wrote for them 10 years ago that's in an old, OpenView, attached to an old Unix box or something weird, and it's like everything they do, right? So be on the lookout for that. Look for good proof of concept candidates. This is Anant said. This is a critical thing when you're looking at thousands of applications. What are some easy things we can get to the cloud fast, operationalize, they're low risk to the business. It helps the team learn how to do it, right? Super important. Assess or assign priority, complexity, and risk at a minimum to everything, okay? At a minimum. You need to be able to have some other metadata that you put against that inventory to help you make decisions, right? Okay, and that's also a really great thing to add to that scorecard. A lot of scorecards that I've done or been a part of had to do with that, right? Because especially the business wants to know, okay, when's that critical app going, right? Because I need to make sure that we have the right people there, the right people to test it, that sort of thing. Be aware of higher security apps and those that integrate with firewalls, right? If you're doing something, I'll use the bank thing since I already went there, right? If you're doing something for treasury, right, in a bank, that's way more secured and important than, I don't know, something else, right? Because it's just super hypercritical and secure. You need to make sure that you do that. And the last one, redesign every app for Azure, okay? What I mean by that is every app that you do, you have a chance, because you're going to migrate it, you have a chance to fix the ills of the old, right? You have an app that's used by a lot of people. It has a single point of failure on the front end. Okay, well, let's use VM scale sets, or let's use app services, something like that, right? So you don't have red light issues that come up because you had a single point of failure before, right? So take the time to redesign them, even if it's quick, and take advantage of things, right? Auto scale, things that you could never do that you can now do. With Migrate, choose the right tool and be flexible, right? You will see this in our documents. Some databases are great for the database migration service, right? They work really well. You can do the zero downtime. There's all kinds of things. Other little bitty databases, you might be able to go knock off 20 of them just using the database migration assistant because it will migrate databases for you too. If you can take it offline, you run it, assess it, works good, migrate it, right? It's done, okay? So you don't always have to have blinders and use the big fancy tool every time. If you have a tool, it gets it done, and you have zero data loss, Well, that's your goal, right? Do things as fast as you can. Next one is a really, really good one for those of you who have the joy of doing migrations in the middle of the night. Selecting more powerful sizes, okay, and then leverage the cloud to then scale it down to where it is. What I mean, if you're doing a migration, you know the database is only going to be a standard database, crank that sucker up to premium when you're doing this at 3 o'clock in the morning, right? So it's 3 to 4 instead of 3 to 6 or something. Does that make sense? And then you can scale down. I've seen this all the time, and people are like, oh, you know, it took forever. I said, well, did you crank it up to the highest one and then scale it back? No. Well, duh. That would have been great, right? Some other ones here, I'm not going to go through every single one of these, but like optimize, you know, obviously it's going to take 30 days or so to get data out of the tool to know, you know, what you need to be optimized on as far as cost and that sort of thing. But leverage those tools. You know, a big one is that last one on the bottom. Watch for migration trash is what I call it, right? So, you know, an old backup, an old VHD, an old test VM, you know, if that stuff's sitting out in blob storage for the next 5 years, you just paid for junk, basically, right? So clean your house, basically, is what I'm saying. Clean up that stuff. And what I always do is I create specific migration, like blob containers and things like that I can go back and delete, right? Because I'm like, okay, that migration was 2 weeks ago. We have a task on the project list to clean, right? So let's go clean the house, brush our teeth, you know what I mean? Get clean so you don't leave that stuff out there. As far as secure and manage goes, I think that probably my biggest thing is obviously leverage Security Center, log analytics, and that sort of thing. But also, you know, partner solutions, right? You can extend those to the cloud. If you use Commvault today on-prem, you're going to have to do, you know, backups and this sort of thing. You want to, you know, leverage that in the cloud, right? So do a deployment of that. All right, you can download this slide and see more there. Really quick, as far as governance goes, the key here is, you know, we want to stay away from subscription sprawl where you have thousands of subscriptions. I've been in customers that have 10,000 subscriptions. Can you imagine that? Like, oh my gosh. And their thing is they chose one subscription for every app. So now they have 10,000 subscriptions, right? They're a big company, obviously. But standardizing your environments, using the new blueprints. The blueprints are amazing if you haven't seen this. Azure Blueprints. You can match up your policies to your deployments, right? And remember, rehost, you're going to use ASR. But the other ones, they're going to be ARM templates or Ansible or Terraform or Chef, right? They're not going to be ASR, okay? You can't ASR to Service Fabric, okay? That's not going to work. So, you know, you want to do that. Next up, let's see here. Quick things about the networking and the identity. So create a hybrid network. You know, ExpressRoute, if you can afford it, is amazing. But always have a VPN failover. You want to have a second failover always, right? Use different providers. If you get ExpressRoute from level 3, get your other connection from AT&T, okay? Make sense? If you have a Verizon trunk that comes into your building and it's for your failover and your primary, and someone backhoes that, you're out. What's the failover for, okay? So think one layer deeper, okay? Leverage partner solutions for firewalls. If your team knows how to use Palo Altos, use a Palo Alto in Azure, okay? And especially the networking teams and other teams that aren't into, you know, Azure and the cloud and all this stuff, as soon as you show them, hey, they can SSH to a Palo Alto, they're good to go, right? I mean, you know, it's like my kids, just put them in front of Xbox and then they're happy, right? So take the networking team, put them in front of a Palo Alto, and they're good to go, right? So leverage those. They're out there. They work amazing. They're awesome. And, you know, here's a quick DMZ, and I'll give a plug to two things also. The Azure Architecture Reference Guides. Anybody seen that? Been on that? Okay, it's a good site. I only saw one hand go up, so, you know, definitely Bing that or Google that or Ask Jeeves or something, right, and find that. The other thing is there's a site on the Azure Docs called the Azure Virtual Data Center, which is very, very cool, and they show you an all-encompassing view of a setup in Azure. So like here we have a really nice on-prem is kind of to the left, and then we see, you know, our gateway subnets, breaking up our different tiers, that sort of thing. They have great documentation for this stuff, and I highly recommend that you go and take a look at that. Next up is the identity. There are lots of options for identity. This is probably the simplest and easiest version, right? Which is, you know, extending, or I like to call cloudifying your IDs, right? So taking our IDs, that we have on-prem today in AD, using AD Connect to synchronize that out into Azure Active Directory. And then what ends up happening is we can leverage those for local logins, that sort of thing, that leverage your AD accounts, but also you can extend that, right? So let's say you use Salesforce, you can take Azure AD with the original account that was over on-prem, and you can use that account, your users can use that account to log into something like Salesforce or Box or anything, right? There's like 4,000 applications on the web that Microsoft has set up for Azure AD, right? So what's great about this is you get away from the help desk calls of, I forgot my password for Salesforce because right now they log in, with, dan@hotmail.com or something weird, right? Because people do that sort of thing. And by the way, 50 to 60% of most help desk calls are for changing passwords, right? So by going to this identity solution, you can resolve a ton of those inbound calls, all right? So basically that's it. To get you started, if you want to look at like cost savings, things like that, you can go to azure.com/TCO. Great stuff on the migration, right? The migration center there. I had that, it's missing here actually, the AKS WAC Contosho-migration is all those documents I was talking about. And we are going to be continuing to invest in that. So as things rev, we're going to continue revving the docs. Like I said, we've got an at-scale document coming, and I'm working with a bunch of different teams. We're going to build a GitHub repo that's going to have tons of scripts in it, okay, for migrations. So be on the lookout for that and go and read those documents because they'll get you started. And then lastly, you can start your migration oh, there it is. It's under that one. Start your migration project under number 3 there. So go and get yourself migrated, and I hope you all do really well. I hope you enjoyed this session, and give us an eval, and please read the docs, give us some feedback, okay? Happy migrating. Thanks, guys.